Still running your business on sticky notes? Still serving PTA flyer vibes with free word templates? Still stuck in that comfy little 2013 tech bubble for your business? AI called. It saw your workflow systems and it cried. Guess what? Your brand's in therapy now. Yeah, that comfort zone might be costing you more than you think. The Hello LLC welcomes you to go from chaos to clarity. We've been talking AI since before it was trendy, but now we're showing you how to actually use it. Real business use cases, automation hacks, and AI strategies that scale your brand now and set you up for the future. This is the AI Edge, powered by the Hello LLC. Streaming live every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time from the Hello Plaza, our Metaverse HQ. Yep, join the Metaverse from your phone, laptop, iPad, even grandma's VR headset if she'll let you use them. Or if you're still holding on, catch us on the crusty, dusty 2D social media platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and X. Either way, press the button, and let's upgrade. From chaos to clarity, let's work smarter, not harder. Buckle up, buttercups, and let's explore the AI edge.
So you know where the future is not predicted, it's built using the power of technology. And if you still think the AI wave is for later, well, congratulations, because you're late. It's here and it's later. So buckle up, buttercups. Let's dive in and take a trip. Hi, everybody. So good to be back. We missed you last week. I'm here with my amazing co-host, the one, the only, Mr. David Jones Jr. Hi, Mr. David Jones Jr. How are you?
Hi, David Jones Jr.
I got to make sure, because there's multiple David Jones out there. We got to make sure we're talking about the real deal Holyfield.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Welcome to our Halloween edition. As you can tell, Tara is the monster, and I am the big bad wolf. So we are back from Vietnam. As you guys know, as I was sharing with Tara, we're blessed to be on vacation, to take a vacation as digital nomads. And so we'll definitely be able to talk and discuss a lot more.
If I could wear that little lizard monster outfit everywhere, I would. Through the airport.
Well, that's what I see when I see you, when nobody else sees you. But yeah, I'm so excited for you guys to join us. Is your business future-proof or fossilized? For today's AI Edge in the Metaverse, you guys make sure come and join us in the Hello Plaza in Metaverse. We want to welcome all of you that are joining us from LinkedIn, from YouTube to Twitch to Instagram to actual Facebook, and of course on our TikTok as well. You guys, you got to get omnipresent. You got to be back in swing of things and understanding how things are playing out as we move forward. But I know you got some amazing things to bring forward to us, love. So kick us off and, we'll get this party rocking and rolling. But let's go.
Yeah, well, we got the news rundown. What's happening in the news, y'all?
Yeah.
So today's topic, by the way, is your business future-proofed or fossilized? And that really is, we're talking about the robotic automation, how businesses and companies are able to, move forward, working smarter, not harder, reallocate those funds that they might utilize towards a salary and use it a little more effectively. And so today's conversation will be around that. And the news headlines are going to be focused on what's going on in the automation and robotics section. So robotic companies are still solving the dexterous robotics hand. Wouldn't say it's an issue. It is something to tackle. So think about your hand. Your hand, by the grace of God and your ability to flex and reflex and contract and expand and point and, pull and push. It does all these different things. It can morph into different sizes, shapes, and all that. And at the end of the day, robots, they're still trying to get the robotic arms and hands to be able to do those functions. So just as wonderful as we think technology is, there are still things and hurdles that they are figuring out. Just guess what? Just like humans, they're still trying to figure us out too. The Aggie bot, the AGI bot, Aggie bot released a zero code code tool that converts video demonstrations into robot motions. So AggieBot is here. There are no code abilities. You can go ahead and get that robot in a tip-top shape condition without having to be able to code.
Well, I think the biggest thing that people have to understand is that, everybody's not going to be asking for a PlayStation. Here in the near future, you're going to have kids. They're going to be asking for these robots. And now your kids are going to have robots that walk around with them, just as we grew up with the PlayStation, the Sega, the Nintendo. And our parents were like, what are you doing? Why are you wasting your time with those things? You'll never be able to make anything out of it. And I remember that specifically, my father telling me, boy, why are you playing those games? And here it is. We're in Metaverse, and I'm in a wolf outfit, talking about business and this AI and how this all started.
Robots wouldn't be needing some AC at the moment. Charades behind the scenes, if y'all did. I was like,
robots definitely
AC
would need
on.
no AC.
Ooh, okay, GM.
Well, they would, because they would need to be overheated.
Well, yeah, but
Right?
they wouldn't be, oh my God, I'm going to pass out right
They
now. They
wouldn't be
just
that
stopped
way.
working.
Yeah.
GM, General Motors, committed to the eyes-off autonomous driving in 2028, starting with the Escalade IQ. It's funny how they named it IQ. So, come 2028, your Escalade is going to be driving you around. I mean, we already have other cars.
It already does. It parks itself now.
Yep, and we already have other cars driving people around anyway, so it's not that far-fetched, y'all. Grubhub launched a Jersey City pilot to deliver meals using sidewalk robots. Just like Walmart, just like Amazon is using drones and that to make deliveries. I saw a TikTok that talked about in China how you go downstairs. So, like David, how we go downstairs and all of our food's delivered to one section.
Yep.
Well, there would be a box that would receive the food from a drone. So the drone would pick it up, fly it through the city, bring it over to the box, put it in the box. And then when you come down and type in your code, up pops your food, and it keeps it cold or it keeps it hot while it's waiting for you. So that's pretty cool. A 16-year-old and his father built a tendon-driven adaptive Lego prosthetic hand. So it's driven by Legos and the tendon within your arm and hand. Man, I'm telling you, it's just really cool things that are coming out. China has introduced a stealth jellyfish robot for underwater monitoring and missions. So I'm sure everybody is aware of that, and they'll be looking out for the stealth jellyfish that are going to be spying on things. South Korea has developed a soft robot that changes color and shape for the modular movement. So kind of like a lizard and a gecko, it's changing with its environment. And lastly, a Chinese city has set a world record with a 16,000 drone aerial show outperforming fireworks. So that's what's in the news this week, just about robotics and that AI automation and what is going on in the world and what companies are dabbling and how this is just being integrated slowly but surely. Your pizza's being delivered. Well, all of a sudden you show up and you're getting money from an ATM. Guess what? That's a robot. It's been around for a long time, but it gives you money and you don't have to deal with a human. So we've been utilizing these functions and features. Some of them are newer, some of them are older, but this is how it happens. It's the slow integration, but it's really fast integration. It's slow because it's not all of a sudden we're looking outside and all we see is a bunch of robots walking around and doing things. But all of a sudden, food is being delivered this way. Well, then all of a sudden cars are being washed this way or being fueled up in like Oregon and things like that, where it's required to have somebody fuel you up. So it's just those things, right? As the robotics and automation development continues to happen. It seems slow, but it's very fast behind the scenes, and all of a sudden you're just using it.
Yeah, and it takes us in today's topic, right? Is your business, future-proof or fossilized?
Yeah.
And businesses, die because they refuse to evolve. And as we talk about fossilized, prime example, dinosaurs didn't die because they weren't strong enough. dinosaurs died because the world changed too fast and they didn't evolve.
Mm-hmm.
The meteor hit, or the lava moved and they couldn't move fast enough.
That part.
They didn't evolve, right? And that's kind of where we're at in today's civilization, in today's workforce, where I was watching, for the first time in a long time, some news, and this guy was on there. There were two gentlemen on there, and one guy was talking about how AI is replacing the workforce and how it's really changing and shifting our industries and things of that sort. And the other guy was, well, I'm not too sure, this, that, and the other.
Mm.
And the other guy like start dropping some of the similar facts that we've been sharing
Yeah.
on this AI edge, and he really couldn't combat that. Because look where we're at now. The job market has completely shifted, where there were 1 million less jobs. Amazon has just came out and said they're replacing 600,000 of their workforce with robots. You just got finished talking about how Walmart and all these companies are going to be utilizing flightless delivering systems. And so it's here. And some of these things that we're going to be talking about in the articles as well are outside of what we generally talk about, but everything is shifting. Everything is changing, just like Blockbuster to Netflix. Blockbuster to Netflix, there wasn't better movies that were made. It was just a better delivery system. When you talk about Kodak to digital cameras, it went from past to future. When we talk about radio versus TV, it was a better experience with TV. When we went from horses to cars, no matter how fast that horse went, it would never outweigh the worst built engine. And so it's just a continuation of evolution. And every evolution, there's these doubters, there's these naysayers, and then all of a sudden it's like, ooh, maybe this is lucrative. Maybe there is this way. Prime example, the fintech industry. A lot of people were oohing and gaga and being like, oh no, not this Bitcoin thing. And now you got your same financial advisor that told you 10 years ago, 5 years ago,
that part,
2 years ago, no, we don't do those things. That's not safe. Now they're in your inbox talking about, hey, let's do some new investments and, changing the names around and saying, let's get into some digital assets, or, hey, this is backed by, Wells Fargo, or this, that, and the other. And it's going back to the same thing that they said they wouldn't do. And this is where the knowledge, this is where the awareness, and this is where, just imagine all those financial advisors and all those companies that if they did a little bit more research and they had got a little bit more knowledgeable, they could have been so far ahead of the curve and educating people about what blockchain is, about what fintech is, about what all these crypto assets can do. Not only that, a difference between meme and an actual, project, they would be taking over the world right now. But because they didn't, they're competing with everyone else trying to catch up. And that's why we share with our clients and our customers, be preventative. And that is one word that we have shared with our clients and that we share with you all, right? Whether you're in our community or not, stop running your business by the seat of your pants.
Woo!
And stop not being preventative, because as we tell our clients, your lack of planning does not constitute for our emergency. And so often we don't plan. We don't, think ahead, and we run our business day by day when Walmart, Target, all these other companies, because we talk about corporations and we want to be like these corporations, but we're not thinking like these corporations, and we're definitely not paying the money like these corporations, or doing the research, or making sure our ducks are in a row, and we're just not flying by the seat of our pants and making plans without checking with the HR department, without checking with this department, without checking with the tech department, without checking with the marketing department. We just aren't doing these things, and yet we want these things. And this is where AI comes into so many people's situations to allow us to evolve and to adapt with this new technology. And so I'm so glad we're having this conversation where we're going to dig deeper into these, these matters, and really, hopefully we'll be able to have somebody be like, you know what? I know I'm still doing things the old school way. I know I'm still running my business like my professor and my, mentor taught me, back in the 90s and back in the 2000s and the 10s. And here it is, 2025, and we're, less than 80 days from 2026. It might be time for me to change, and this is where we have to be able to say, hey, I might not know it all, but I know some people that can help me, and I'm not going to be, stuck that dinosaur looking at the meteor and like, ooh,
Ooh,
that
that's
looks
pretty.
pretty, right? And not involving. So that's what we're
Crash,
talking
bang,
about. So we
boom.
want to welcome you guys all to joining us. Like I said, we are omnipresence. Everything that we talk about, we ask you guys to do. Thank you all on Facebook. Thank you all on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on X, on Instagram, on Twitch as well. Thank you guys all for joining us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we look forward to having you guys, and everybody on TikTok as well. So what we got next, baby?
Yeah, well, I didn't know if we wanted to take a word from our sponsors.
Yeah. Let's go into a little video. You know what I mean?
From
We
our
got
sponsors.
we got
more
a
like
little.
a funny.
We got well. The first one's gonna be a little funny, but not funny. But I mean, we can't skip straight to the funny. If you want to.
Well, I saw a funny one in there.
So we go
that included me.
Yeah, let's see here. What is this? This is a good one. This is when we were in the Marble Mountain in Vietnam, guys. This video does not do it justice, but this is absolutely amazing. So as we take a little break before we go into this article, as you guys know, Tara and I are digital nomads, and we have the opportunity and been blessed, not lucky. This has definitely been a lot of sacrifice, a lot of hard work, a lot of consistency, a lot of dedication to get where we are. And everybody can do it. Just will you do it? We had the opportunity to go to Vietnam, and it was definitely a different pace. And being now back here in Bangkok, Thailand, I definitely am glad that we chose, Bangkok as a first visit, because the people, the culture, the food, right, is definitely amazing here. But Vietnam is absolutely amazing. This Marble Mountain that we went to, millions of years ago, Vietnam used to be underwater, and these limestone mountains, made it. And in the 17th and 19th centuries, monks went in there and started carving stuff up and digging these tunnels, and it is an absolute marvel and an absolute one of those lifetime visits that we got to check off the bucket list. And so I'm so glad that we did do it, and we got some more videos coming up as well. But what you got?
Yeah, we're gonna dive into our first article talking about Nike, talking about robotics. So Nike is up to some cool things. They've unveiled their Project Amplify. What does that mean? Well, they're just, going to be able to use technology to help you walk faster and run faster. It's utilizing motor and drive belts along with your natural leg movement, and it helps power your walking and or running. So it's described as the world's first powered footwear. So that's pretty cool. It's for walking and running, and it's designed to help everyday athletes go farther and faster with
I'm not an athlete.
effort.
You got a body. You're an athlete.
Everybody's an athlete at the end of the day. You walk, you're an athlete. You roll, you're an athlete. The system combines robotic components such as motor, belt, rechargeable cuff battery, and it integrates carbon fiber plated running shoe that's developed in the partnership of the robotics company Daphne and Nike. So basically, as you can see on our screen here, it is a whole shoe that you put your foot into. It cuffs to your lower, just below your calf, to your upper ankle. And then it has a powered movement and motion. So as you do the motion, it does the rest of the work for you. So you are to go farther, longer, and if you want to, faster. It positions itself as a part of the broader technology push. You remember how Nike's back in the day when they did their Air Jordans, and and the Air Maxes where you pump them up. This is what this reminds me of. Is like the newer generation of the pump it up, where we're actually into technology. But it emphasizes the aim of embedding assistive power into your everyday movement. So essentially, it's a wearable. It's a technology wearable, just as we've seen those amazing Ray-Ban glasses. We've seen watches. That's what life is going to start looking like, is where we all just kind of have these wearables, and we're going to have these additions. As we know, Elon's working on a Neuralink, so you might one day have the ability to pop in a Neuralink.
Not one day, it's already here.
It's here. Yes. So one day soon, you'll be able to have the ability to pop in your Neuralink and go about your day. So why is this a big thing? Why does this matter? Well, first of all, it just shows you that technology is here, right? It illustrates how AI and robotics and technology have become the future of wearable products and wearable features, and this will be able to assist you in what you're doing. So that's where the new edge is coming from, and it suggests really the smart physical systems that companies like Nike are looking at. It's them thinking outside the box of how can we take our product and power it by technology. And that's really what the cool thing that they're doing here. And it provokes really the day old question is, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, of how are you leveraging AI, robotics, automation, and technology in your business? Nike is a prime example of showing you guys how they've taken a tennis shoe and coupled it with technology, and how that is to assist you as the user, whether it's walking or running or whatever in between. So, check them out. Mr. Jones, what do you think of this cool shoe? It's kind of cool looking. I wouldn't mind trying it out. I think it'd be kind of cool, especially when we're walking 8,000, 10,000 steps, around Magic Marble Mountain. I say Magic Mountain because it was pretty magical, but around Marble Mountain, I wonder if those might be pretty cool. What do you think, Mr. Jones?
Yeah, I think what this does teach us is, first of all, is that everything is changing. Our phone is about to change. You just mentioned the Ray-Ban. Our shoes are changing. Everything is evolving. So anybody that thinks that, this isn't going to, things aren't changing, they are absolutely insane. And how the innovation is taking part and utilizing AI and then being able to adjust it. Because as we see, a lot of these shoes are now being customizable to where you don't need to go to the store anymore. You can order it straight from Nike. Hell, you can go into Metaverse and you can, buy digital footwear to put on your actual, avatar in Metaverse. And so this innovation is continuously redefined in what's possible, and Nike's taking that leap, and as Nike always does, take us to the next thing. And this is what we talked about a year ago, right? Is that people wouldn't get the concept of how this technology and how AI is shifting things until it got into the cooler everyday lifestyle things. And then everybody was oohing and gaga and being like, oh my God, this is awesome. This is the next sliced bread. It's like, it's been here. Just like the calculators, just like AI has been here with grammar check. It's been here, with all the things that you're doing in your computer. And a lot of the times when we look at AI, all it is a better big ass computer, that we used to get, in high school. It's just a whole lot faster, 100,000 times faster. And now it just doesn't shoot out, numbers. It now actually can talk. and now actually can, compute and speak back things to you. And so we're making this big ordeal out of what we dreamed of and what we imagined that would happen, is us being able to create, us being able to imagine, and now us not having really any limitations. So that's what I'm excited about, that Nike's being one of the first, as always, taking this leap.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I was going to share a couple of things. Again, they're always the evolution. I mean, I come back to the Air Maxes. I come back to these different types of shoes, especially through the 90s growing up. They just had these different evolution of, outside the box. So that's always been Nike. They're always going to push the envelope. It's not like, ASIC and some of those others that are kind of like, this is our niche, we're staying here, and fun little fact about Nike. Did you know the Nike swoosh logo cost them $35 to make back in the 80s?
Wow.
Fun fact about Nike.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. That is crazy.
So I just wanted to welcome everybody in. Thanks for being here. We're having a great conversation. Go ahead, Mr. Jones.
We got Doug in the building. Doug said, interesting format. Great to see more having these conversations and shining light on what's out there and things that are at some of those areas to watch out for. Absolutely. That's what we do, Doug. Thank you.
We're interesting individuals, so it's always an interesting,
We're different.
We are, and that's okay. It brings a different perspective, and that's the beautiful thing about this world, is when you listen to different perspectives, you get to form your own perspective. So,
Boom.
Mr.
And then
Jones,
we also got Miss Lisa in the building.
Miss Lisa.
We'll be joining Miss Lisa on November 4th. For her event. We're doing something special for Miss Lisa. We're going to be up till 4:00 in the morning just for Miss Lisa. Just FYI, you're going to be up with me too. But anyhow,
like on air, no fans or what's already
signing you up too. But yeah,
extra coffee that day.
Extra coffee for sure. But yeah, I believe we're on to the next video that we'll play for you guys. So check this out. This is something that I did this morning. I just had this message. I wanted to share this with y'all. So here we go. Check it out.
Look here. What are you grateful for today? I want you to understand that you are living in the greatest times right now to start your business, start a side hustle, start any adventure, because there's this thing called AI, Web3, this new financial switch that's happening, and there's no greater time than to start now. And guess what? There's also no greater time than to have a whole bunch of excuses not to press the button, not to take action, to get distracted by everything else that's going on, and not to worry about anything else to help you get better in your future and your family's future, and more importantly, your energy and your vibration. Because if you aren't paying attention, shit is changing, and you gotta change too. Nothing changes if you don't change. So make sure that you are staying on the positive side and not worried about all this negative stuff, because you worrying about the negative stuff will get you negative results. As my mama used to say, you look for negative, you get negative. So stay positive, my friends. Retool, restructure, relearn, and really be able to adapt to everything that's going on from AI, from fintech. And I encourage you guys to come and join us at the Hello LLC, which stands for Helping Entrepreneurs Leverage Leading Edge Optimizations. Join the group and come be a part of something that we want more for you than from you at the end of the day. You know the drill. Toodles.
Just like that, folks. You know how it goes. So we're going to dive right into article number 2 here. We're talking about SoftBank. If you don't know who SoftBank is, they are a technology company that has, dabbled in the robots before. And they're back with a big bang. They are doubling down on their investment in humanoid robots. And so really at the end of the day, SoftBank, who is led by Mr. Sun, here is ramping up a major investment and diving back into the humanoid robotic startup sector and in the industry. And they're integrating AI into physical machines, which is leading the robotic revolution. This is prompted because of large companies like Tesla and Elon and his robotic fortitude of moving forward with robots and things like that. So this is causing other companies to say, hey, we want to get back in this. SoftBank is shifting from their past setbacks. As I shared before, they have tried this before in the past with their Pepper robot, and it failed. It did not do well. And so they kind of went ahead and shelved the robotics division that they had within their company. But because of Elon and other companies that are going after the robotics and the humanoid robotics, they are throwing their hat back in the ring and saying, we're all in, and diving back into the specific thing is the humanoid robot. And that is a whole difference than, the dog robot that you see walking around, or the little R2-D2 style robot that kind of wheels behind you. So this is going to be like a robot. And really it's combining AI, robotics, and automation to handle real world tasks in sectors like manufacturing, logistics, and elderly care. That's an interesting concept, at the end of the day. The initiative carries significant risks, as they already identified and already have been through a failed measure. So they are cognitive and highly aware of what risks do come with this. Technology complexities are some of the areas that they're watching: regulatory and labor concerns, high costs, and regulations. So it really just comes down to, this is a risky, but as they say, no risk, no reward. But it does signal a major trend that's coming down, and that's a physical automation powered by AI turned into a robot, and being able to combine that to make your life easier. And so it just really emphasizes how the expansion and how companies are continuing to press forward in the automation, in the robotics arena, whether they failed or have not failed. That's a part of the discovery of a new area. Is there's going to be failure within such industry, right? So, Mr. Jones, I just wanted to share this little part though. Micro businesses, 0 to 10. So let's say 1 to 10, because you're going to need one human at least at some point in there, which they are really going to benefit from this the best. And that's because instead of turning and having to hire a human with a salary and with benefits and with overhead, and that's one thing that automation and robotics helps, is curb that overhead that an employee does bring on with their footprint, and what they need and what you have to offer to be competitive. It's going to allow companies to work smarter, not harder, and curb that overhead and allocate those funds, which would normally go towards the salary and portion, of that employee footprint within your ecosystem, is to really allow that to now a one-time purchase, and maybe it's, minor maintenance, but it no longer has health insurance. It no longer has, sick days. It no longer has emotions within it. No longer needs coffee breaks. It no longer needs to go to the restroom. You no longer have labor laws where you have to give it, 30 to 60 minutes for lunch. If it's working a full 8-hour shift, you no longer have to say after 8 hours, I have to pay you a different rate. You no longer have to say, and after 14 or 16 hours, you have to go home, because that's not humane. So there's a lot of these different aspects that the human touch does bring in. Yes, we bring in a level of quality that robotics and automation can't get us to yet. However, it also brings with a cost with it. So, Mr. Jones, what do you think?
Yeah, I think, once again, this is not futuristic thinking in the next decade or so. This is, this decade that we continuously have been sharing with people that, as I just shared earlier, your kids are going to be asking for one of these robots, and your wife is going to be asking for a robot to do, dishes and washing clothes and all of that stuff. Hell, your husband will too. Hell, I will. Hell, I want one that can wash my clothes and do all of the things so we can focus more on our business. So, this is where, once again, AI is getting smarter, and this is just the beginning. Just as, cars started. Now look where cars are now. Within this year, you can already buy flying cars. Just as we predicted, not when we were in high school like we thought we were, but we're getting flying cars.
Yeah.
As when we were growing up, watching the Jetsons and all that other stuff, we're getting close to teleportation. We're getting close to so many of these technologies that a lot of people are unaware of, but they're testing it and they're working on it, and it's not mainstream, but they're definitely, giving you razzle dazzle pieces. And as we've continued to showcase, if it's in the movies, you've seen it in the movies, they got it.
That part.
And they working on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we're there again. And that's what this SoftBank company is doing, is really, bringing this humanoid, to life. And we've been seeing it in all of these movies. Aliens, I could go on and on, Robot with Will Smith, all of these, the new Aliens just came out. All of these movies that have these androids in it and that have these robots that are talking. And what do you call, the in Iron Man? What do you call in Avengers? All the lady that's half robot, half half human. We were just watching another movie just the other day about how it was half and half. So this is just another evolution of how computers are now talking to us. Like I said earlier, you no longer have to get that big ass calculator that we got in high school, to be able to do your homework. Now that big ass calculator is an actual robot that you get to sit next to you and gets to do all of those things. And these keyboards and these phones and all this technology that we got right now on our desk is about to be obsolete. It's coming up on its last leg. So that's what I got.
Yeah. And I think that's just what we have to understand, is that we've been conditioned to see it in the movies, and now it's showing up, and part of that conditioning has helped allow us to kind of be a little more okay. And again, there's pros and cons to everything, there's pros and cons about vehicles, y'all. These are 1 ton, 2 ton vehicles that were driving around, half-ton vehicles that were driving around at 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 miles an hour. And, that has risks and rewards to it as well. So
yeah,
it's, all of that, that's what life's about, is making these shifts, looking at what's happening. How can I automate? How can I work smarter, not harder? Yes, we sound like a broken record when we're like, look, automation, AI, Web3. Web3 is just this whole conversation in conclusion of where technology is moving. We started at Web 0, Web 1. We're currently in Web 2, which is the social phase. It's Web 1 was that you got mail. You could send information, but you weren't, and you had the ability to kind of
Oregon Trail.
Yep. And that was more Web 0, where we were DOS based, and it was Oregon Trail, and it was, floppy disks and things like that. Then we moved into
not mess up that disk, dog.
No, then you moved into Web 1, and that was where we got mail, and we started being able to email and send information and have websites to where you could go get information off the web page. But it wasn't so much where you could put information in. It was just consuming the information out. And as we moved to Web 2 and got later into Web 1, we started having AOL chat channels where we could go in and be conversational. And that's when we moved into Web 2, which is where MySpace, then AOL chat channels, then AOL rooms, and then MySpaces came popular, and then Facebook popped up, and then we have LinkedIn, TikTok, TikTok, Instagram. We have all of these social platforms where we are now interactive. We're feeding our ideas in. It's not just pulling information off. Information's still there, but now we're adding to that information with our own information, whether it's true or incorrect, it doesn't matter, but it's information being added, consumed in a social setting, a social manner.
Yeah.
Now we're moving into Web 3, and you're starting to see things as we end Web 2 and we move into Web 3. You're starting to see the AI automations. You're starting to see these little things pop up and start to kind of, where you're utilizing it and it's safe and it's comfy, because that's the transition to build the bridge between Web 2 to Web 3. So you've already been through this multiple times. It's not going to kill you this time. You're going to punch your ticket when you're ready to punch your ticket, when you're leaving this world, and all of us are. None of us are getting out of here alive, right? And so in the meantime, let's work smarter, not harder. I was sharing this conversation with David today as we wrap up this amazing conversation today about, you don't have to, we've been conditioned to be told you got to work hard to deserve. And in reality, no, we need to start thinking smarter, working strategically to where you're utilizing your efforts at the best possible way, to where you're not out here constantly sledging a sledgehammer and doing the same repeated action over and over and over again and not getting into results. That's just foolishness and silliness. And we've been taught that we have to show up and do that. And that's part of that, go be an employee. Nothing wrong with it. But we have a nation of employees. We went from entrepreneurs to employees. And now we've got to shift back into the entrepreneurial mindset. And that's something David and I see all the time being abroad, is that in America, being an entrepreneur, is kind of, it's not as widespread, and not everybody is an entrepreneur, versus like Mexico. Everybody's an entrepreneur. Yeah. Thailand, everybody's an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
They're out there making the money doing that. And that's my point in sharing this, is that where there's a will, there's a way, but let's work smarter than harder and use technology and automation for your benefit.
Yeah, and I'll share these amazing facts, because you guys know us. We like facts over your feelings and your emotions and what you think is right. And so, AI can increase business productivity by 40%. That's McKinsey fact and stat. That's not David Tar. 74% of executives say AI adoption gave them cost savings within 12 months. That's PwC. Businesses utilizing automation reclaim 6+ hours plus employee per week. 90% of repeated admin tasks can now be fully automated. Companies utilizing robotic process automation achieve 30% ROI in the first year. That's a Deloitte fact. AI-assisted decision-making reduces errors by 50 to 70% in operations. Talk to me. Chatbots now handle 80% of first-level customer support. Metaverse-based engagement increases buyer interaction by 70%. 63% of consumers will pay more for businesses utilizing better tech and services. Last one, AI can draft documents, emails, and proposals 90% faster than humans. And so this, my friends, is just 10 facts off the top of our, list of facts and stats of why you should be utilizing, AI in itself. For small to medium-sized business, this isn't, for large enterprise companies. And I think a lot of the times, us as small to medium-sized entrepreneurs, we think we don't have the budget. We think we don't have the resources. We think we don't have, the actual capacity to implement these things. But I promise you, the day-to-day tasks that you're doing now, or the day-to-day things that you should be doing to increase your business, you could be implementing in AI. And that is exactly where the Hello LLC comes into play, where we can show you, we can teach you Or hell, we can do it for you if you don't want to do it yourself. Because guess what? A lot of people talk about, oh, I utilize AI, oh, I utilize this, but are you really? And not only that, just because you ask the question, do you know the actual steps of how to implement these things and the actual trinkets that you need to adjust and manage? Tara and I were talking about this earlier. A lot of people, will join our Pivot membership and will think that they can go on and ask ChatGPT and they're good to go. Well, that's great that you found an oven that could bake the cake, but can you put the icing on and have it just as good as the decorative can or the person that does cakes? The answer to that question is absolutely not. Everybody's not Tar. I'm not Tar. I just let you know that right now. I can try to be as good as Tar when it comes to this graphic work. I can go ask ChatGPT. It would take me 100 tries to try to get as good as what Tara can go in and create because of her knowledge and her skills that she's able to do. And so, yes, AI works, right, to a certain extent, but if you want it done the proper way and you want the systems to work on the back end, that's where you definitely have to be able to stop doing it yourself. Ask Leah Garcia, ask Chietza, ask so many of our clients, ask Cleo Michael, ask, Miss Purely Inspired. Ask. So many people that you probably know that we've touched or been influential of in some shape, form, or fashion, whether they tell you or not. I promise you, we have, right? Whether they like or they share or they comment or they see your post. Not just for us. This goes for everyone. I can assure you, the same issues, the same problems that you are going through in your business, whether you're getting business, not getting business, not marketing, you are marketing, you are having CRM issues, you're not having CRM issues, all of these things that you're talking about is the same exact thing that other entrepreneur is talking about. And this is where we get to collaborate and come together and bounce these ideas off of one another and have these conversations. And that's why it's called the AI Edge. And so we want to thank you guys all for joining us. Welcome on in, Miss Tracy. Thank you for the love, the cool costumes. I am the wolf. Tara is the mighty green monster. You guys make sure you come and join us in the Hello Plaza in Metaverse that you can join from your cell phone, from your laptop, from your iPhone, any phone, matter of fact, right? And any device, and you can experience and you can engage in a completely different way. It's not where you join in on Zoom or any of these other 2D platforms. I can assure you, you can't move around, right? In any of these other platforms, especially Zoom, doing some of the things that we do in these rooms and being able to move around and dance and have a good time. As you see Tara as she dancing around and doing goofy stuff right now. You can't do this in Go Brunch. You can't do this in Zoom. You can't do none of this stuff that you can do and get back here, girl.
Get my little shuffle.
Right, get your shuffle in, right? That you can do in the metaverse. So definitely, you guys make sure you come and experience the future because once again, as we say, it's already here. But love, what you got? You got anything?
You know the drill, Mr. Jones, is work smarter, not harder. Follow the Hello LLC. We can help you. We can show you, teach you, or do it for you. And at the end of the day, we appreciate each and every one of you showing up, being here, and being a part of our community. And, if there's something you want us to chit-chat about, you let us know. What you got, Mr. Jones?
Yeah. So look, you guys know we went to Vietnam, so we definitely got some videos that we want to share with you guys. But check this one out. This is a buffet where you get to look your fish, your lobster, your shrimp, whatever you gonna eat. Just be prepared to look it in the eye. I told
David, just go get it. I can't. I'll just eat it.
She sent me up to go get it, but check it
out. So Tara and I went to this place called Tiger Ben 2 Seafood in Da Nang, Vietnam. And let me tell you something. The food, you gonna look your food right in the eye, and then you gonna weigh it, and then you gonna eat it. And I'm telling you something, the service is insane. This lady came over, peeled our shrimp for us, with their gloves on, all half-pound of these amazing, huge-ass shrimp. She even cut the head off. You see that little gooey stuff. That wasn't pretty. But let me tell you something. It was pretty in our mouths. So look, overall, this place was absolutely amazing. Vietnam, we experienced no racism, no issues. Of course, people are going to stare at a purple, 6-foot-tall, beautiful, blue-eyed woman and a big-shouldered, bald, black guy. So don't allow other people's experiences and their traumas and their dramas impact your decision on traveling. I can assure you, you experiencing different cultures, different religions, it will give you a brand new perspective of how you look at things. And that is why we encourage people to change your energy, to change your world. So get out of your comfort zone, travel the world, say yes, press the button. Toodles!
Yeah. And so, guys, look, you guys make sure you follow us on our TikTok channel, Hello Travel.
Hello Passport.
Hello Passport. Follow Hello David and Hello Tara. And definitely follow us on all of our social
you just type in hello, you're going to find us in TikTok or any platform.
Any of our platforms, I promise you that. You will definitely find us there. And so without further ado, you guys know the drill. At the end of the day, it is love,
kindness, and integrity. But most importantly, commitment and consistency. And until next time,
toodles!
You a forward-thinking entrepreneur or business owner? The world is changing faster than ever, and it's time to pivot and adapt to the future. Hello LLC is here to help you do just that. Hello stands for helping enterprises leverage leading-edge optimizations. Our innovative solutions can streamline operations, reduce overhead costs, and give you a competitive edge in a market projected to reach $5 trillion by 2030. By pivoting to the metaverse, businesses can tap into a rapidly growing market that is projected to be a significant part of daily life for 25% of Americans by 2026. As a full digital metaverse agency, the Hello LLC can help you create custom solutions to streamline operations, increase productivity, reduce costs, and drive brand recognition. Why should you pivot to the metaverse with the Hello LLC? By leveraging cutting-edge technology, you can provide immersive experiences for your customers, expand your global reach, and unlock new revenue streams. Contact us today to make the pivot.